Hi class, so today we are going to take a look at how to convert podcasts that you recorded in Zoom into Audacity files so that you can do some editing of the audio if you would like to do so. It's not required for the second podcast, but a few people have asked about how you might do it, so we're going to talk about that briefly. Pardon me, I've got some allergies going on, so if I'm coughing during the recording, just pay no mind. So I've got Audacity open, and the reason why you can't just immediately import your recordings from Zoom into Audacity is that Audacity is not designed by default to handle the MP4 file type. There's some legal reasons for that, but there are workarounds that you can do. So I'm going to show you how to do that workaround right now. I'm going to be doing this on a PC. If you're running off a Mac, the process is basically the same, and I'll try to point out where the differences are as we're going along. So once you have Audacity open, the first thing you need to do is click on Edit and go to Preferences. If Preferences is not under the Edit tab for a Mac, then just click under the tabs until you find the Preferences option. And under Preferences, you're going to see in the sidebar an option that says Libraries. And in particular, we're looking for the FFmpeg library. So odds are you do not have that already installed, and so you need to have that installed on your computer in order to access this file type. So we are going to start by clicking on Download, and that's going to take us to the Audacity wiki page. Here you'll find instructions, or at least links to instructions, for how you can get the files that you need, whether you're using Windows, Macs, or a Linux machine. So I'm just going to take you through the Mac real quick before I do the Windows install. So if you go to the FFmpeg installation section, you'll see it up here, installing that export library on Mac. It will then direct you to clicking on the full instructions for it. So you're going to click on that. And that will take you to a download page. So if we go to the download page, you will see the FFmpeg and LAME on Mac OS, Mac OS X. We don't need LAME. LAME is only for installing or exporting MP3 files. That's not what we need for Zoom. Instead, we need the 64-bit FFmpeg for Mac OS X. So if you click on the download for the FFmpeg 64-bit OS X package file, that will allow you to then click on that once it's downloaded onto your machine, and it will install the library. And you're going to see us go through a similar process for the PC. So we're going to get rid of this, get back to Audacity, and go through the process again for a Windows install. So we're going to go to the Windows version. We're going to see the installing FFmpeg for Windows file. We are going to go to the download page, and we're going to ignore the zip option for now. That's not what we are looking for. Instead, what we're going to do is, if you look down here, you'll see the FFmpeg Windows 2.2.2 executable file. That is what we're going to be using because that will make the installation significantly easier. So we're going to give that a minute to download. And it'll take about a minute, so it's not too bad. Obviously, your mileage may vary based on how many people are trying to use the Wi-Fi in your house right now. Okay, so it's downloaded. We're going to click on that file to run it. It's going to take us through the install, so we're going to allow it to make changes to our device. And the install is pretty fast. And since we're on a Windows machine, it's going to Program Files, x86, FFmpeg for Audacity. Do the install. And it's already done. So we're going to click finish. We're now going to go back to Audacity. We're going to cancel out and reopen our preferences, see if it's found the file. Okay. So if it doesn't find it automatically, your best bet is to actually just close out of Audacity and restart it. So we're going to do that right now. We'll go back to preferences. And what you'll see now is that it has it here. So it says FFmpeg library versions. And it has that all updated in here. And the real test is we should now be able to just drag and drop our Zoom files into Audacity, and we'll test that right now. So I've already pre-recorded a brief Zoom video. So if this works, and you'll see that it's the MP4 file type, if this worked, I should be able to simply drag this into Audacity. And there's the audio file. So again, once you've gone through the process of installing the FFmpeg extension into your library, you'll be all set to pull the audio straight from your Zoom recordings or any other video recording that you're doing, or even recordings that you've done. If you're using an iPhone to use the voice memo feature, it also uses this file type. So you can use this extension to edit things that you've recorded using your phone as well. Again, I recommend using if you're on the Windows, using the .exe version of the file, because that will just automatically install it where it needs to go on your machine. You won't have to do that manually. And my understanding is if you use the .pkg extension on your Mac, you have the same process essentially. If you run into any issues with this, feel free to shoot me an email. We can set up a Zoom. You could even do a screen share with me so we can figure out what's going on. Otherwise, again, this is not required for the second podcast, but if you do want to clean things up a little bit or add some music, this is probably the best way to do it. So I hope this was helpful. If it wasn't or anything was unclear, just let me know and I will be happy to try and clarify. Have a great day and take care.